just won't last. You're the one that's got the strength, not me.
Hello and welcome back to the Nightcap. I'm Josh Rimmer on Nextsportstar.com. Joining us right now on the line, former NHLer and from Matt Barnaby, .com, Matthew Barnaby. Matt, thanks for taking the time to be with us.
That's no problem at all.
Matt, did you at all think we'd have a new CBA at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and how did you hear about it?
Well, you know what? I don't get up at 5 a.m. for nothing unless she's a cute blonde, and that didn't happen on that Sunday morning. So, you know, I just remember waking up and having text messages from all my buddies and waking up and then looking at TSN, checking that out, and then getting some texts from friends from around the league, and they were equally as excited as everyone else. So, just fun. I didn't think it would last that long, but again, just excited to have it back and be watching hockey again.
Matt, were you surprised it took this long for a deal to be made?
I did. I thought we'd be looking at mid-November, maybe December, and then when we got into December, I thought for sure the start of the new year would be done. So for it to go on that long, very surprised, but anytime you get in negotiations, it is what it is. It gets down to having the fear of losing something, and for them it was that deadline of losing the season. Both sides knew it. Both sides knew that the other one wanted to make a deal, and they had to make a deal come the 11th hour. So when I say I'm surprised, I am. It took so long because they weren't talking about cap or no cap. They were talking about, you know, a piece of the pie. Just very happy it's done. Very happy we're watching hockey, commenting on hockey, and on to the next stage. We won't have to deal with it for a very long time.
Absolutely. Hopefully 8 years. Well, it will be 8 years at least. I think it should be 10. What did you do during the lockout, though, Matt, to kind of get your hockey fix?
You know what? I started my own hockey, and you started it MattBarnabyHockey.com. I started teaching youth hockey and coaching teams, and then starting spring leagues and clinics and camps, which was awesome. Always been a goal of mine. And then I've started my own podcast, which very excited about. It's on my website. And then spending time with the kids. It's been great. Obviously, playing all those years, you miss a lot of family time. Traveling as an analyst for years takes away a lot from your kids. So to be able to spend time with my two kids has been great.
Awesome. Matt, still some big names out there right now that are not signed, restricted free agents, PK Subban and Jamie Benn. Do you think those will get resolved soon, or do you think those guys might be holding out for a bit?
You know what? I think it's day by day. I think we look at the way the teams are playing, and if Dallas wins tonight in Detroit, Montreal beats Florida, you talk about leverage. It all goes back to any negotiations, whether it's negotiating with the NHL and NHLPA or players with their teams. It's about leverage, and those two teams, you're looking at day to day. I think PK Subban could be out a while. He's looking for a long-term deal. They're looking for a short-term deal. If anyone's going to happen to sign a contract earlier, to me it's going to be Jamie Benn. I think they're a lot closer than PK Subban is. I expect PK to be out a while. Jamie Benn, I think, gets done fairly quickly.
Do you think the Del Zotto deal kind of hurt the PK Subban possible deal because Del Zotto took so much less than he could have earned?
It certainly plays in the equation. PK Subban is Montreal's arguably their best defenseman. I think if you take Markov out of the equation with the youth of PK Subban, what he's capable of doing, not being injured and being young in his career, he looks at Del Zotto, and obviously that's a low contract on the low end, nowhere near where he's got to be. If they want a 2-year deal, nowhere is he going to be in that same range, that $2.5 million range that Del Zotto was in. He wants a long-term deal. He wants in that $5 million range, 5.5, I'm sure. So that Del Zotto signing certainly hurts him, but he's not caving quickly. He knows what kind of player he is, and that's why I see it going a long time if it doesn't get resolved quickly.
Matthew, Scott Gomez and Wade Redden both bought out last week. Wade Redden signs with the Blues. How effective do you think Wade Redden can still be?
You know, I think he can help. I think he can. He's a depth guy now. He's a fifth or sixth D and can help out a lot. So It wasn't the problem with him playing in the league. He's capable of playing in the league. He's played a lot of years, and anytime you can add a veteran D, it's very helpful. It was his cap hit. It was his number that Glenn Sather gave him, made him a very rich player. That's what made him unattractive, not the possibility of him playing or capabilities of him playing in the National Hockey League. It was the cap number. So I think he can help out that team. It's a very good team. He won't be counted on for big minutes, and he can add great minutes as a veteran D.
Another guy that is out there that I mentioned, Scott Gomez. But word is that he's going to sign with the Sharks. But I don't think they're going to have to worry about his offense too much, Matthew. Actually, the Sharks aren't going to have to worry about offense. I don't know if you've seen the score, but the end of the first period in Edmonton, the Sharks are winning 6-1.
I have that game on right now as we speak. I've been switching back between Chicago and Minnesota, a couple different games. Yeah, they just scored. They're making it 6-1. Edmonton's my favorite team to watch in the National Hockey League, part because I love watching the young kids play offensively, part because I like watching them play defensively. Tonight, not very good. But Scott Gomez, again, he wants to be out of the limelight. I would too. He was in New York, signed a big deal, went to Montreal, a huge market, and just didn't live up to expectations. So I think San Jose would be a great fit for him. He's out of the limelight, someplace where he can hide, do his job. He's still a good player. He can still add some offense to some teams. But like you said, San Jose certainly doesn't look like tonight. It's a team that needs offense.
Unbelievable. It felt like the 90s once again, Matthew, earlier, actually opening night in the NHL. Jágr with 4 points, Kovalev with 3 points. You played with both of these guys. Can they still be dominant in this league?
Yeah, it's funny. I talked about that tonight on the podcast, and you throw Solani in there, my ex-roommate in Colorado. Yes. I think they can be successful. I think in the new NHL, and when I say new NHL, it's post-last lockout, guys, Jaromir Jágr can still skate. He's a big guy with great speed. He's got good size and with lots of power plays. Absolutely, these guys can still be effective. Kovalev, I wouldn't take him. If I took those three, and talking Solani, Jágr, and Kovalev, I'd take him third. Solani, he can still skate, still fly. And when you look at older guys that are able to still play within the system, still train very hard, all those guys do that. They're capable of really adding something to those teams, and I think they'll be successful.
Matthew Barnaby joining us right now, former NHLer, and also with MattBarnaby.com. Matt, I want to ask you about this whole Luongo situation. It has not gone away. Luongo not really requesting a trade last year, saying that he would have no problem waiving his no trade if Vancouver came to him to ask him to be moved. And then it came out in the summer that he wanted to go to Florida. Then there's been all these rumors, nonstop rumors the last few months, even during the lockout, that he was possibly coming to Toronto. He goes nowhere once the CBA is signed, still in Vancouver. What do you think is going to happen with this situation? Mike Gillis actually came out today. I don't know if you saw his comments and if he was kind of full of it or if he was serious that basically he was close to moving Roberto. He was just waiting for the team to make another move prior to making the trade. What's your whole take on this whole Luongo situation, Matthew?
Again, it goes back to leverage. I think when you hear Mike Gillis talk, it's about leverage. He needs more teams involved, or at least he needs the perception of more teams being involved. Do I think there's a lot of teams in the market for Roberto Luongo? No, I don't. I think Toronto is the team. I think it's the team he will end up in. He will at some point be a Toronto Maple Leaf. But if you look at Philadelphia, look at the way they're playing, the easiest way to create momentum or leverage is to come out with outlandish or a quote to think that other people are involved. It causes a stir in the media. It maybe might cause Dave Nonis to think, but if you look at 10 years and $5.3 million cap hit, there's not a lot of players ready to jump on that. And when I say players, I mean teams.
Yes.
I think he will be a Toronto Maple Leaf. I think he's just trying to get the best deal possible. And right now I think the Toronto Maple Leafs are probably trying to rob Dave Nonis and the Vancouver Canucks blind. certainly when you have a commodity like Roberto Luongo, and you know that they want to move him, you don't want to give up much. Jake Gardner won't be part of the deal. Kadri won't be part of the deal. So they're trying to get something in back for an all-star goaltender. But do I feel that there's a lot of people in play for Roberto Luongo? Absolutely not.
Another guy I want to talk to you about, Matthew, is Alexander Ovechkin. He's got a new coach in Washington this year, and Adam Oates. Do you think Adam Oates could get the best out of Alex Ovechkin? He hasn't looked good hasn't looked good so far as of yet.
Yeah, I certainly hope he can, because the NHL is definitely a lot more interesting, a lot more fun when Alexander Ovechkin is at the top of his game. We always talk Sidney Crosby, who was number one, who was number two, and that comment is not even anywhere near the discussion now. So I certainly hope so. I think Adam Oates is a good coach. I think he hopefully can get the best out of him. And it's up to Alexander Ovechkin. Does he want to be an elite player in the National Hockey League, or does he want to be just average? Hopefully the answer is the latter, or the first, and he wants to be an elite player in the National Hockey League. He's got a long-term deal, and Washington needs him. The NHL needs him, and I think it's just great for the league if he is that player. Hopefully, Adam Oates, obviously being a Hall of Famer, can get the most out of him.
David Bolin getting a second chance, or not getting a second chance, but getting a first chance to be on this on a scoring line for the Chicago Blackhawks instead of a defensive forward. He's looked good so far. Do you think he'll continue to succeed on a scoring line, Matthew?
I do. He was successful when he played in London. This is a guy that was an offensive player when he was in junior, and he fell into a defensive role, an agitating role, which he's very good at. He's a good skater, right-handed shot that can move the puck. He's got great hockey sense. So I see no reason, when given the opportunity to be put in a scoring role and be put in an offensive caliber team and line, that he can provide that offense. He's a very good player. Just needs to be given a chance, and I see him being very successful.
And finally, I got to ask you your predictions, Matthew, before we let you go. Who are you picking this year to come out of the East, and who are you picking to come out of the West?
Well, I wish you would have asked me this a few days ago, because I'm an idiot right now. I have the New York Rangers coming out of the East. I love John Tortorella teams. I played for Torts and think he is a great coach. I think they have the best goalie in the National Hockey League in Lundqvist. The addition of Nash, to me, is one that was much needed, especially for the power play that's now clicking at 11%. So not a great start for them. But I still see New York advancing. I think they have a tremendous team, well coached. And out of the West, I have Vancouver. I like Vancouver. And when I talk about prediction, I don't like to predict Stanley Cup champs or playoffs till regular season is over. But I think Vancouver is a very strong team, a very good goaltending core. I think they have a lot of offense, a great power play, and a great D core. So I'll take Vancouver. I will take New York. But again, that's strictly for the regular season.
Matthew, always appreciate you joining us. Love your insight. I'm glad now we can talk some hockey stuff. I was embarrassed to call you and have you on talking about the CBA, so I kind of left you alone until hockey came back. Now that hockey's back, expect to hear from me quite often.
All right, buddy. You guys take care, and if you ever have any of the cute girls on, you can have me on too. Pardon me, and we're a little late tonight. I totally understand.
Not a problem, buddy, and I'm sure we can get you on the boot campaign as well and get you a nice pair of boots.
Sounds good, buddy. Take care.
Thanks, Matthew. Much appreciated, buddy. That was Matt.